Recorded Books presents Only You, Starfish Bay, Book 3 by Irene Hannon. Narrated by Thérèse Plummer. Chapter 1. What had she gotten herself into? Kristen Andrews eyed the leaden skies over the gray Pacific Ocean as she maneuvered her rental car around yet another curve on cliff-hugging Highway 101. Wasn't California supposed to be sunny and warm? Or did that description only apply to the southern part of the state? She flicked a glance at the outside temperature gauge on the dash. 48 degrees on April 2nd? Hardly spring weather. Northern California must play by different rules. Unless the cold was an aberration. She hoped. Otherwise, she was going to start having serious second thoughts about trading in the tropical warmth of Maui for Starfish Bay. Cranking the heater up another notch, she skimmed her cell's travel app on the seat beside her. Less than 5 miles to go. Maybe her new home would make up in charm what it lacked in warmth. But 10 minutes later, as she took inventory of the 5-block-long stretch of 101 that comprised Starfish Bay's straggling Main Street, her spirits sank. A biker bar and the cheesy-looking Orchid Cafe and Motel bookended assorted shops and small businesses, including a general mercantile store, post office, and dentist. An art gallery was the only bright spot. If she didn't have to spend the next few nights at the motel, she'd get a good laugh out of the gaudy sign in front that featured a huge purple orchid. She was in no mood for mirth, however. What in the world had the president of Matson Properties seen in this place to merit spending millions of dollars on an upscale destination resort? But a few minutes later, she had her answer. After pulling into the resort entrance and following a winding road through a spruce and hemlock forest, she emerged onto a windswept headland that soared above the ocean. Wow! The view alone would bring people in. In the far distance, a slight haze softened the line where sea and sky met. To the right and left, other headlands jutted into the blue water along the irregular coast, their steeply sloping rock faces sporting forested or barren tops, some of them wrapped in horizontal tendrils of cloud. Offshore from the tiny beaches and cliff bases, jagged boulders thrust through the surface of the water, aiming for the sky as the surf churned around them. The resort was none too shabby either. Not that she'd expected it to be. Lewis Matson didn't do things on the cheap. The low-slung 2-story structure, constructed of wood and stone and huge expanses of glass, hugged the sloping headland, blending perfectly into the landscape and reeking of understated elegance. Her anxiety dissipated a smidgen. It didn't have palm trees or tropical breezes, but Inn at the Point would be a pleasant place to work until she was asked to move on again. And when that time came, she'd leave with no regrets, and no strings, like always. A sudden pang of melancholy tugged at her heart, and she tightened her grip on the wheel. Focus on the future, Kristen, not the past. Once you get the lay of the land here, your mood will improve. It always does. Fortified by her little pep talk, she followed the curving drive that led to the main entrance. The front door opened to disgorge several construction workers, and she stopped to let them pass. Painters, judging by their white pants and shirts. Too bad the place wouldn't be ready for occupancy for another month. She'd much rather spend the next few nights here than at the Orchid Motel. But at least she'd get a tour tomorrow when she met with Mark Stevens, the general manager. In the meantime, she might as well check in at the motel. And maybe she could find a slicker at the mercantile. Given the ominous sky, chilly temperature, and puddles of water on the inn's drive, she was going to need one. She rounded the circle drive and accelerated back toward 101, groping in her purse for her lipstick. The makeup repairs she'd made in San Francisco between plane changes had probably
Sample complete. Ready to continue?